What is going on, guys? All right, so this is normally the type of story I would put in hasty headlines, but it's a rather big story, I believe, especially for my audience, and so I wanted to give it its own separate video. This is about the NRA and the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, and her 18-month investigation into fraud and corruption in the NRA, and now she has filed a lawsuit to dissolve the NRA, and according to what we know, she may have the evidence to do that. This may be the end of the NRA, or at least, at the very least, the end of the NRA as we know it. Essentially, and we'll go through some of the things here. I encourage you to check this out yourself. I'll put the link in the description box down below to this press release by the Attorney General of New York, so you can check it out for yourself. But essentially, she is claiming that the fraud and corruption and abuse was perpetrated on the NRA, and then, of course, on the members of the NRA by the people in charge. Specifically, Wayne LaPierre is named, the Treasurer and Chief Financial Officer, Wilson Woody Phillips, the Chief of Staff of Operations, Joshua Powell, Corporate Secretary, and General Counsel John Frazier, all with failing to manage the NRA's funds and failing to follow numerous state and federal laws, contributing to a loss of more than $64 million in just 3 years. Again, I'm not going to go through everything myself, but I'm going to give you a couple of high points here. Basically, they're saying in the statement, the NRA is fraught with fraud and abuse, which is why today we seek to dissolve the NRA, because no organization is above the law. And it's going to go into a little bit of a detail as far as what's actually going on as far as the NRA and what kind of organization they are. But the NRA's culture of self-dealing, mismanagement, and negligence, says Wayne LaPierre, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of the NRA's charitable assets to private plane trips for himself and his family, including extended family when he was not present, visited the Bahamas by private air charter at least 8 times in an approximate 3-year period of time with his family at a cost of more than $500,000 to the NRA. On many of those trips, LaPierre and his family were gifted the use of a 107-foot yacht owned by an NRA vendor, traveled to Africa with his wife for an all-expense paid safari gifted by an NRA vendor, spent millions of unwarranted travel consultants for decades, including for the booking of luxury black car services, spending more than $3.6 million in the last 2 years alone, just in luxury car services. Secured a post-employment contract for himself with the NRA without board approval, currently valued at more than $17 million, allotted several million dollars of annual NRA funds for private security costs for himself, his family, without sufficient oversight on their use, received more than $1.2 million in expenses for reimbursements for just a 4-year period for expenditures that included gifts such as favored friends and vendors, travel expenses for himself, his family, membership fees. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Secured lucrative consulting contracts for ex-employees and board members worth millions of dollars. That's just Wayne LaPierre. Now, this is something we've been talking about for a while. It came out years ago that he was doing things like spending $20,000 on suits of NRA money. This is, if you're a member, this is your money. You're paying dues, essentially, to be a member here. This is essentially a union that's supposed to be there to protect your gun rights. That's what they're supposed to be. But they're more like just a money laundering racket more than anything else. They're just taking members' money, stoking fear into gun owners, okay, not doing anything to actually fight for our rights. We know they were on board with the 86 gun ban, with the 94 assault weapons ban. They helped write the NICS background check system in 96 or 98 or whenever that was. They were the ones whispering in Donald Trump's ear to ban bump stocks. They've never been about protecting our rights. Not only that, but if you're a member, and I was for a very long time, they were stealing your money and not using it for what they said they were using it for. They were giving it to themselves. Okay, and this is just a whole laundry list of things that was going on. Please feel free to read it for yourself. Look at all the stuff that the Attorney General of New York is alleging that she can prove, and in this lawsuit, I'm sure she's going to prove it. I mean, look, this should not shock anybody unless for some reason you've still been an NRA member and you didn't listen to things that people have been saying for well over a decade about the NRA. I didn't listen for a long time either. I didn't start listening until about 5 years ago, and started really digging in and realizing what the NRA was doing. And since then, I've been preaching about it too. This is just more proof. The Attorney General of New York says she has enough proof to dissolve the NRA as an organization. it is targeted merely at a certain group of people, but she says it's basically it's systematic. It's in the organization as a whole. So she wants to take out the whole organization. I don't know if you can completely get rid of the NRA, or you just go after the people who've been running it into the ground for their own personal gain, and then maybe something better rises up in its place or takes the mantle of the NRA that actually cares about your rights. I don't know what the NRA looks like after this, or if there is an NRA at all, or if she even wins, honestly. But I'm fairly certain that these allegations, this press release, these statements, this lawsuit would not be going through if she did not think she had more than enough proof to prove how corrupt and fraudulent the NRA has been with its own organizations, and by extension, all of you out there who are members, all of you out there who've been paying your dues every year or paying for lifetime memberships or whatever it is. They've been taking your money to pay for trips, safaris, $20,000 suits, luxury car services, all kinds of things. And that's just one person. That's just Wayne LaPierre. And that's just the things they were able to find out about him in just 3 years during an 18-month investigation. Imagine how long this has been going on and how much of your money they've been stealing. So there you go. Like I said, I encourage you to go check out this article. I'll make sure and post the link down in the description box down below. We will see what happens with the NRA. If you're a member, I would highly suggest you stop being one. I've been saying that for several years now, and this is just further proof that that's probably a good course of action at this point. So that's going to do it for today. I will see you guys later. You got any questions or comments, anything like that, leave that down below, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks.